have all the teachers here, all the teachers from different departments. Um, I'm not too sure which departments you belong to, but this is a common topic that I have been given, that is about stress management and time management for teachers. So instead of putting it as only stress management and time management, I have given it my title as how to balance career and professional life in order to reduce stress. So, are we ready for the session? Right. So I would like you to comment in the chat box so that we can make it little interactive. And this is a very light session. Probably everyone knows about the stress, but we do not acknowledge it, or we do not understand what is the level of stress for a teacher. So I hope with this presentation, we will be able to understand the causes of stress and how we will be able to manage it. Some techniques we can also, some tips we can also talk about it, right? So let's all talk about the stress of a teacher. Before I begin that, I would like to narrate a short story. So in the presentation, you can see a tree, which is a banyan tree, and there is a man over here. So this story is of a man who had a happy family, which comprised of a wife and two children. So near his house, he had a big banyan tree, and his children every day used to observe that whenever their father went to the office, he used to bend down under the tree. He waited for some time under that tree and then went to the office. Again, when he used to come back from the office, he stood under the tree, waited for some time, and then he used to come back home. So they were observing this for a few days, and after observing for quite a number of days, they questioned. They wanted to question their father, and they asked him, "Father, what do you do under that banyan tree? Every time when you go and come back from office, we see you standing under the banyan tree for some time. So what do you do under this tree?" Then their father said with a smile, "When I come from office, I hang the garland of office pressure, the politics, and everything related to the outside world on this tree. Again, when I go to the office, I stand under the tree and put in the garland of out the outside world and then go to the office." This is because he says that he did not want to mix up things. Mixing up of things of two different worlds will not benefit either. So what is the two worlds that he was talking about? He was talking about his family, and he was also talking about his profession. So he didn't want to mix up these two things. And yes, this work life balance is the key role. How we can balance our professional life and our personal life is only, it's a big challenge, but this, if we can able to balance it, we will be able to overcome the stress that the teachers are facing. Now if you see, this profession of teaching is a profession which gives a lot of hope to change lives. You know, there are students whom we can really mold. They're just like clay, and we have that opportunity to change lives. But often the teachers, they find a lot of stress in the path of their profession, you know, living up to the expectations what the teachers face. It looks quite impossible. So there is a lot of stress between achievement of what you have, your target, and to balance your work life and personal life. That is something which, you know, increases the stress among the teachers. And I will tell you from my personal experience that if you're able to have a work life balance, you will be able to build a long and a happy and a healthy career. So, if you can all tell me in the chat box, why are you a teacher? Can you just type and tell me the reason why you have chosen this profession before I go on further? Anyone who would like to say why you have, you know, become a teacher? I would like to see the chat box. I shall wait till you tell few answers. Yes, anyone? I have not seen anyone. The reason why you are a teacher and you have been attending this FTP program for 7 days, and today is the last day. So I would like you to comment at least why do you think you are a teacher here? Ma'am, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
So I don't see anyone responding. Well, if it takes a lot of time, let me only tell you the reason why you are a teacher. So some people, go into teaching profession because it seems like a very family friendly job. There's no travel, and your vacations are also at the same time as your kids. Your hours of teaching also matches with your kids school hours. And working as teacher also requires excellent time management skills, which we will be talking about. So teachers need to balance their goals in the classroom, what is the educational needs of the students. They also have to do large amount of paperwork. Whatever assignments we give to the student, with that we also have a large volume of paperwork. So we have to write lessons, we have to grade exams, everything is there which we have to fit in into the allotted time frame that has been given to us. Yeah, but the reality is, even though it looks everything good, there may be students who can email homework or they can post some questions during weekends, during odd hours. I think all of us must have uh, faced this kind of a situation where the students, even if we give them some assignments, they will be mailing at the last minute. Or in the weekends, the teachers spend a lot of hours writing their lessons, grading the tests. So basically, the teachers are stressed. So almost three quarters of teachers, that is 73%, often find the work stressful. And as a result, you know they are more likely to leave work physically and emotionally exhausted, and they bring work home. So if a teacher fails to strike a balance between work and the private life, that can lead to a lot of burnout. That is the stress that I am talking about, right? So what do you mean by this work life balance? So here, when I define the work life balance, it looks like how working people can manage time, which is spent at the work and outside the work. So time outside the work may include, managing your relationships, your family responsibilities, any outside interest and hobbies, socializing with people, the methods and individual uses in order to juggle all their work and the life that demands their work life balance. So the definition is very, very simple. If I say that the working professions trying to achieve a balance and not feeling stressed, it is a time where they will evolve as professionals in their work, and in the private life, what role they have to play, that kind of a role they would be playing. Now, this life work life balance is a very old concept actually. So this came at the later stage of the industrial revolution, where people were overworking. In the especially in UK, it was common for an average worker to work 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. So these were really long, long hours, and that had a lot of effect on the health of the workforce. And around the same time, the US also, they started tracking the hours of work by its worker, and they discovered that on an average, its workers, they used to work for more than 100 hours a week. So these hours were very, very, they posed a lot of problems on the health and the safety. Almost for the entire country, it was a big risk. So this actual term of work-life balance first appeared in UK in the 80s. So it was in this movement that they advocated that we should have some flexible times, flexible schedule should be there, especially for the maternity leave for women. So, while men were busy, they were pursuing their career without worrying about about their house and, raising their kids. Working women had to have a lot of responsibility. So they had to maintain their houses, they had to look after their family. And it was this time then when they saw that there was a work life imbalance for women. So the women are the ones who experience a lot of imbalance in the work life, and this work life balance concept has given little relief to the women workforce as such. So when we define this work life balance today, we can say that it is nothing but some of the strategies that we can adopt in order to have effective time management so that we can prevent some stress, right? So employees today want better time management skills in order to spend time with their families, their personal interests, and this work-life balance should be able to, distributed across all the genders, not only female or women, but also for the male that we would like to say. So the next slide, please, ma'am. So this work-life balance is something that means differently to different people. For some teachers, what does it mean that they want to have, work during the school, but should disconnect completely when they take some breaks? And for others, it may be more time on schools, on school days, they can spend more time on the school work, and on the weekends, they would like to spend some time with their family. So it is basically possible to exercise every morning, prepare something like a daily schedule every morning, and you spend some hours, like what time you need to spend on what. So once you have written down your vision, once you what you want to do, you must think that it should be achievable. You do not have to be perfect, but you must see that in a simple activity, you are able to do the work. It should not be very, very hectic, or you need not be very, very perfect in what you do. So here, when I say life balance, here we are trying to balance the four components: the family, the career, also the health, and also the friends. Right. So why, I have already asked you, why did you choose to be a teacher before? But still, I didn't get any answer. So let me see if you really want to answer to that question. So I'll skip this slide and go to the next slide. Yeah, the next slide, please, ma'am. Yeah, here we see the expectations from a teacher. A lot of expectations from us, right? Every one of us think what the teachers, we often hear from the children who are having problem in the school that our teacher was so stressed that he's shouting all the day, he needs to calm down. But they have the students seem to have recognized that there is some kind amount of stress among the teachers. So the schools and the teachers are usually very good at thinking about the well-being of their students. But have you ever seen that the students also observe you? The behavior of the teachers are also being observed. So it is very, very important that we manage our own well-being, because if we are every time we are, shouting on the students, they may also understand that there is some amount of stress that the teacher is feeling. So you take a moment and think about what are the feelings when you get up in the morning, and from the time you go to the bed, what do you notice? Probably you see that, everything is like very hectic. It's like a roller coaster, right? You are probably dealing with students all the day who are, adolescent, who are having fluctuating emotions. You're trying to help everyone. So teaching, as I told you, is all about managing relationship. That too, a very huge task on us. This is very, very important for us to be, aware about our feelings. So expectations from a teacher is you need to be prompt, you need to be prepared, you need to be positive, productive, and at the same time, you need to be polite. Now, there are few feelings that are there among the teachers. Some of the common causes why we have stress, because we try to be perfect. Is it not? Teachers tell their students that mistakes, you should not make mistakes. Or we also tell them sometimes that even if you make mistakes, it is good because we have to learn from them. But still, the teachers cannot afford to make mistakes in their work. They get frustrated when they are not able to work perfectly, right? When the people do, when your students do not understand enough, you want to study, you want to make more lessons and see where you can be perfect. So this perfection is a danger, I may tell you. And this is one of the reasons why we are under stress all the time. We always want to try harder. So, in my opinion, teachers are often very hard workers, always trying to do things better. So, if our students do not understand, what do? We spend long hours explaining to them. Is it not? We are trying to explain things in an easy manner. So, we stay up late into the night, plan a lesson. Even if we are tired, we need to go to the school or the colleges. So, we really, really work hard. Then we always want to stay strong. Teachers hate people, hate to let people down, which often means that we get into our work so seriously that sometimes we're struggling. We are trying to push our personal and family problems aside. And we want to, do something for the profession that we have taken. So that is why many teachers, get sick in the holidays, because whenever they are at home, they they then think about their household work, but when they are in school, they just remove all their personal and family problems, and they are just struggling with the class. So these are the few reasons why there is a lot of stress among the teachers. So how about if we can, instead of trying we can to be perfect, we can also learn to acknowledge the mistakes. Instead of trying harder, why can't we try something different, right? So we have to develop certain strategies here in order to manage the stress. So what you want to get done in your career and in your personal life, that is a big question that we are going to answer. So the tips are as follows. The next slide, please. Yeah, the next slide. We should add activities, don't just subtract. So here what is happening, we should add to our life to in order to achieve the goals better. What should we add? By taking some time for a hobby or an activity, right? We should not focus every time on the work. We should also try to take up a hobby or try doing something that you may have not done it before. So here, work smarter, not harder. Add friends. Give yourself a break. Invest in your development and celebrate your accomplishments at work. And when coming to your personal life, you should draw a line between your work and a home. That means you should be able to understand that, you draw a line between work and home, set boundaries, both mentally and physically. So you need not bring work home. Make sure that whatever work is given to you, you finish off in the college itself. And then cultivate a life outside your classroom. Hobbies. Start or reconnect with your favorite hobby. It may be gardening, photography, dancing, whatever it is. So you forget about the classroom and remember that you are an individual when you are doing your hobby. Schedule time to do nothing. I'm not sure if we are able to do that, but this might be difficult. But we can try to do that. Most of us feel guilty when we are not doing anything, isn't it? Even on the weekends. So we check our Facebook, we sit and, see the Instagram reels. So all these things, the researchers says that this is a distraction inducing behavior. So always checking our phones, we feel good. But if you absolutely must do something, practice mindfulness and meditation. If you do not want to do anything, just don't do anything, but try to practice some amount of meditation or yoga, right? Then get sets, that means sleep. We have like the teachers are the one who lack sleep, and that is very much dangerous to our health, our well-being. So make sure that you get enough sleep each night. Sleep helps you to recover from the stress. It also improves your memory, which will help you to, increase your ability to solve problems, make decisions more quicker. So the more stressed out you are, the more sleep you need each night. I don't know if you agree to this, but yes, sleeping is a good practice which will help you to recover from any kind of stress. Practice reflective writing. So, reflecting writing is this, you must have learned this technique during your teacher training, where you need to be in touch with your emotions. As a teacher, whenever you're frustrated, you cannot lack control. Okay, so reflective writing is a way where you can reduce your stress by writing the plan for future or connecting with why do you teach. So why have you chosen this profession? If you are feeling frustrated, you should write it down. Reflective writing. So that's why I say work life balance means different things to different people. For some teachers, it may mean that they just want to, immerse themselves in the work during the school. And for others, they really think that if they do not go to school a single day, they don't know what to do. So that is how we can practice you know, a thin line between the work and life. The next one is you should respect your time. If you want to achieve work life balance as a teacher, respect the time. So, teachers are hard workers, as I told you, and it is not uncommon for teachers, to stay at school until 7 p.m. in the evening, also helping students, and sometimes even until midnight, you are awake correcting papers. You spend your weekends planning lessons, attending conferences. But I understand that teachers' duties are almost impossible to accomplish without putting in extra efforts or without putting in extra hours. But however, we can respect our time. We can, uh, see how we can put up some personal time for ourselves that at least we deserve, right? Shut off electronics. So, thanks to Corona, with this online education, now students and parents, they can connect us at any time. I get calls from my students even after 10:30. They message at odd hours, because WhatsApp is so readily available. They think that, ma'am, whenever she will see her phone, at least she'll see the messages. So this sometimes becomes really very stressful. So sometimes I found myself replying to the students' post at 11 p.m., answering emails in the odd hours of morning. Okay, so sometimes these posts and mails would get me so excited, sometimes upset about, keeping me awake. So the best thing is we should shut off my phone. So now I tell my students that I will not I should not get your calls or anything after 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, I just keep away my phone. So forcing myself to switch off electronics was very difficult. But then I saw that it has a lot of impact on your mental and emotional health, and also on the energy level. So this is a key part of how to achieve work-life balance as a teacher here, and not to be stressed out also. So shutting off the electronics, you can put a deadline for yourself that during this hour of the day, I'm going to switch off my phone and not attend anything. Preferably, after 8 o'clock, this can be done. Right? Then prioritizing your health. This year, during the new year, I kind of made a new year resolution that I always preach about, health to my students. Why not take care of my physical health also? So, teachers have a tendency to put on a lot of weight. I don't know why, but this is so because we need so much of energy in talking, standing, moving around, that we don't even realize what kind of food we eat. So every time having coffees, teas, all these things are there, and sitting at one place and no exercise at all, that will also lead to frustration among the teachers. And that becomes one of the prime reasons of your stress. So you need to prioritize your health. You should lose some weight, go for walking, do some exercise, do some yoga. All these things will also help you to deal with the daily frustrations of being a teacher and cope with the issues which are outside our control. So, prioritizing your health will also be one of the reasons of how you can prevent the stress. The next slide. This is the most important one that we are looking for. Yes, how to be a happy teacher. Do you all want to be a happy teacher? I see we are almost 30 of us here. And how many of you say that you want to be a happy teacher? I hope you're all there because, yeah, I can see Mr. Mahesh Verma raising his hand. So when we are a group of teachers here, I want you to respond also, because how it would be, don't you feel stressed when your students don't answer to the questions asked? I hope you understand. So let us also interact. If you don't want to talk, it's okay. But at least in the chat box, you can keep your messages. Yes, I see Sasi Durga ma'am saying a yes. So we all need to be a happy teacher so that we can teach well, right? Yeah. So I'll tell you only five, six, maybe six tips I can tell you. So the first one is let it go. What is it? Let it go means as teachers, it is easy to fix small things. So sometimes you have a lot of pending assessments. You have to go out on some other work and you're not able to do that assessment. Sometimes we just have to let go. We do our best, but we must also recognize that some things are out of our control. Take a deep breath and let it go. Learning how to achieve this work life balance as a teacher can be tough, but if I tell you, it is absolutely essential for survival. So these strategies that I'm telling you, or the tips that I'm telling you, will ensure that your teaching career is not only impactful, but it is also healthy and it is long lasting in nature. So what can I do about it? Keep a diary for a week. Write about your work. Identify what you need to change. Try to focus on what is the priorities. Okay, you cannot change everything in a night, but you can uh, do that. Set your own goals. Start by doing smaller goals and then try to achieve the bigger ones. So, setting a goals means you can set a time to finish each day during the term, set free time to rest properly, set aside 15 minutes to meditate daily. Take your entire lunch break. I tell you, during the lunch break, there will be students coming and standing on your head. So take your entire lunch break. Do not allow the students to enter into the staff room during the lunch time. And set time to move your body also. Some time, for walking, for yoga, for stretching. All these things are also very, very important. So to, write your goals down. And once you have set your goals, you are far more likely to achieve your goals. So write it down, where maybe on your desktop, or maybe on your mobile phone, on the notes, or somewhere you can stick on your in your cabin, in the department also. So that can be there. Change your state of mind when you get home. So many a times we take the baggage of our stress to home, but we should say, when we enter into the home, we should take the fresh air, enjoy a nice hot bath, a hot coffee, a tea. Try to leave behind the day at school. So you need to separate your home life from your work life. If you can, leave your books, your assessment behind. If you do take them home, leave them in a room where you can close the door when you are finished. And make sure this is away from when you sleep. And one more important thing is, I don't know if all of you have that, have different email and social media accounts for your personal life and work. Do you do that? For your social media accounts, I don't think so. You should, make it to private to others, because you are professionals anyway. So have different email and social media accounts for yourself, for your personal life, and for your work. And in the holidays, do what you feel like. Allow yourself time to rest properly. Do not overschedule yourself. Everyone's comfort level is different, so be honest with yourself. Try not to accommodate everyone else's need. Prioritize what you want to do, and give yourself the permission to serve your needs first, because when we are into a teaching profession, we keep everything aside for others, and we are the last person to, we don't think, like, if you are running to colleges or schools, we first try to prepare the carriages and the tiffins for our children, for our husband, for other family members, and we hardly see what we are carrying for ourselves. This is in case of the female teachers I'm talking about. So during holidays, at least you try to prioritize what you want to eat, what you want to do. Give yourself some pampering. That is something. Find the time and the space. Get up 30 minutes early. Take 30 minutes when you get back from work. Sit and be calm. Reflect on your work. Okay, reflect on your week. What goals you have achieved and how you have to achieve them. So find time and space. Do not clutter everything in one given time, that this month I have to finish this work, that work, everything. Don't try to keep in one time. So you need to be little organized, right? Give space and time. And at work, you have to enjoy the autonomy. There will always be more than there is time to do it. So prioritize, talk to your colleagues, and they should be able to provide you some support. So plan, do the paperwork, and enjoy the autonomy, where, make your lessons enjoyable for your students. Tell them the stories you want to tell. Include some activities, so you do not have to follow the same boring way of teaching. You can also realize that a class can be joyful. A class activities can be fun. So when you are writing your lesson plans, you should try to introduce, with your autonomy, you can manage the classes with something which is different. With your effective skills, teachers can, provide a better education for their students. So don't be afraid to set boundaries with your own personal and professional priorities. You organize the day by the priorities. You can plan homework assignments. You can, plan for any kind of, when I say plan for homework assignments, means it can be where you do not have to, that same kind of practice of writing you may not give them, so that you take the work home and then correct those assignments. You can give them some different way of doing the assignment, is it not? So this work life balance may be an equation, but there is no formula. If I say balance is nothing but an equation, but there is no formula actually to achieve or arrive at a particular solution. So instead of achieving a balance between the school and the home, or college and a home, it's a personal experience that you have to have as teachers. So if you want to experience a better balance in your teaching career, you also have to choose some adjustments, and that adjustments may work best for you, it may not work for someone else. So this is very, very, what do you say, subjective, when we say that these strategies may work differently for different people, right? So the next slide, please. Yes, I have already told this. Organize the day by priorities, plan the homework assignments, avoid loaded procrastination. That means avoid, piling the works. So whenever you are getting some work, try to do it and finish it off. And teachers can also experience a sense of accomplishment whenever they are doing some work that will help them to, feel happy. Plan for potential crisis. So you have to better plan ahead for any kind of problems before facing them in the classroom. So although some problems are because of some natural disasters, like, teachers can plan around the needs of the students. Uh, we didn't know about Corona. That was a crisis. But then that was a lot of stress for the teachers as well. But here, now we are ready for any kind of crisis. So by learning about the students, what is the mindset of them before we enter into the classrooms, the teachers can prepare a plan of action. They can plan for any kind of crisis that may be available, right? And obviously, I said you should set aside some personal time. That is very, very important for you to overcome your stress, right? The next slide, please. Yes, I am nearing to my conclusion. That is about work life balance. And I told you that there is no formula for arriving at solution. So instead of achieving a balance between your college and home, your personal, it's a personal experience that many of us has. So how you are going to prepare that equation for yourself, what formula you are going to choose, is very, very important. The other one is, if you want to experience a better equilibrium in your teaching career, pick and choose the adjustment that work best for you. So new role in the classroom, new assignments, all that thing has to be taken, prioritized by a particular teacher. Then only we will be able to get a proper work-life balance, right? I will not lie to you, but actually, if you see, according to the research also, teachers, even though they play a critical role in shaping the life of our nation's children, they not only facilitate learning, but they also influence a child's, the social and the emotional development. But it is very unfortunate to say that today teaching is one of the most stressful occupations. High level of stress. High level of stress are affecting the teacher's health, the well-being, and that is leading to lack of engagement, job dissatisfaction. We are having poor performance, and some of the highest turnover rates are also there among the teachers. So you see how stress not only has a negative effect, but it also results in lower achievement for students. Don't you realize that if we are not true to our profession, it can actually reduce the uh, efficiency of a student, and that will lead to high cost for the schools. So we are paying the teachers, but the students are not performing well, and the institution has to incur a lot of cost. So the teacher stress, if we may say, is linked to the teaching performance and the students' academic outcomes. How we teach will depend, will result in how the students are achieving, right? So high stress levels are causing teachers to leave their profession. There's instability among the student staff, and in this response, when the teachers are leaving their profession because of the stress, schools and the institutions are hiring new teachers with less experience, which will result in lower student achievements. And this is not very good for our education system, neither it is good for our nation, right? So this term stress has entered everyone, our everyday language. It has taken on variety of meanings. So many, like if we see, come across a student, the student feels stressed. If you come across a teacher, the teacher feels stressed. So stress is almost everywhere. But then let me tell you that the stress can be the negative stress. Most of us take it as a negative one, but there can be a positive stress also. So positive stress is very, very important. If we have the positive stress, then what happens to us is we are able to manage the stress in a positive manner, right? That will not also have effect on our health. It will not have an effect on our performance. We will be able to manage our work as well as our family. So I hope I was able to uh, tell you how this balance between the family, your future, and your career can give you a beautiful life. So, if you see in this slide over here, also, I have mentioned the balance, family, future, life, and you see that life is cornered here, right? So, yes, the next slide is just a quote by my famous motivational speaker. There is no such things as work-life balance. It is all life. And the balance has to be within you. So you are the person who has to check how you can manage your stress and how you can bring a balance emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually within you, so that you are able to enjoy the life, so that you are able to give better services to the society, because teaching is such a noble profession, and it is in fact the responsibility of each one of us as a teacher to see that we help to build the nation. So I take a lot of pride in telling that I am a teacher by profession, and I also think that we have the capacity to nurture, we have a capacity to you know make a raw mind into a mind which can think at great levels, the innovative minds that we talk, the creative minds that we talk, it is all because of our teaching. So I take this moment to actually acknowledge and tell you all also that how this teaching profession may be a stressful one, but with all our ways of finding time to master our stress, we will be able to perform really well, right? And now I keep this forum open for any kind of question or any kind of interaction from any one of you who would like to ask something or kind of tell something. You're most welcome.
The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post the questions in the chat box also.